so good, so good, so right. Together, you and ITV.
Rescuers in the Soviet Union search for survivors in the rubble of another major earthquake. It's down to the last hours for convicted mass murderer Ted Bundy. The murder trial of an Edmonton law professor takes an unusual turn, and the Oilers and Rangers fight it out in the third periods.
Good evening. Another major earthquake has struck the Soviet Union, the second in less than 2 months.
Tonight, rescue workers are searching through the rubble for survivors. It's believed as many as 1,000 people could be dead. More in this report.
It happened just before dawn. In seconds, said a survivor. Most people weren't even awake. The earthquake buried several mountain villages in a deadly sea of mud and debris. The force of the earthquake, estimated at 6 on the Richter scale, was far less than the quake that devastated Armenia last month. Officials estimate 1,000 dead, but warned that number could go higher. Most of the damage was confined to the small villages near the epicenter. The nearby capital city of Dushanbe, only 20 miles away, was untouched. Soviet authorities were quick to promise money and aid and to rush in digging equipment. But there was little to salvage. Roads, buildings, schools, cattle. It's all gone, said one eyewitness. And this latest tragedy deepens the sense of gloom in the Soviet Union this winter. In a speech this past weekend, Mikhail Gorbachev referred to such things as the Armenian earthquake, the faltering economy, the failing war in Afghanistan. We are, he told his countrymen, facing hard times. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Moscow.
A Soviet embassy spokesman in Ottawa says there is no official appeal to Canadians for aid in the wake of this latest earthquake. However, Alexei Makarov says assistance would be accepted.
Now we are in need of medical equipment, again, for hospitals, for ambulances, bigger equipment, which would be constructional aid, which is necessary to just rebuild the devastated areas.
In less than 12 hours, 42-year-old Ted Bundy will be put to death. He's being held in a Florida state prison while his lawyers desperately try to get him a stay of execution. Bundy has been convicted for the brutal slaying of a 12-year-old girl and is a suspect in several other murders across the United States.
Serial killer Ted Bundy is talking, confessing to murder after murder, giving investigators grisly details of a decade-long cross-country crime spree.
I think he was born to kill. It was just, I don't know if it's a bad seed or what, but boy, he was just totally consumed with murder.
The confessions appear to be similar to those Bundy recorded himself several years ago. In the tapes made available this weekend, Bundy tells of a murder and describes himself in the third person.
He placed his hands around her throat, just to throttle her into unconsciousness so that she wouldn't scream anymore. And then, let's say, he removed her clothes and raped her.
This kind of serial killer, and particularly Ted, is a very manipulative personality. And one of the things that I think gives the kind of great high and excitement to the stalking and killing is the power that you exert over others.
It was the thrill of power that authorities say led Bundy to kill 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. She was his last victim and the murder for which he is scheduled to die.
I would take a great deal of personal satisfaction in seeing Ted Bundy die.
Bundy has been convicted of 3 murders, confessed to a dozen more, and is still a suspect in another 2 dozen.
We're probably only going to know, at most, the 23 or 24 that are most publicized.